So, my car's got an oil leak, unfortunately, and I'm gonna fix it. It's the valve cover gasket. A few months back, I started smelling burning oil from the car, and it's probably not a good thing to have oil covering all the parts in the engine bay. So I'm gonna get this thing right. As you see there, gotta remove all these, gotta take all the fuel line fittings off, and then there's a bunch of bolts that secure the valve cover to the engine. As you can see here, some of them lying around there. I should be done in maybe about, 5 hours, 6, we'll see. So, one of the things that, German manufacturers are notorious for is requiring a degree in rocket science just to take the battery off. Show you what I'm talking about here. What is that contraption? There's so many things tying battery to the leads. I don't even know where to start. Yeah, here we go again. So I was able to successfully remove the flux capacitor from the car. As you can see here, no longer connected. So, yeah, let's get back to the front of the engine. Stop playing in the trunk. Alright, so good news is I'm making progress. I want everybody to see what I've done here. What I've done is I've carefully removed all of the wire harnesses that surround the entire valve cover. Had to disconnect the PCV valve, that's going to get in the way. Basically what it's done is exposed all of these bolts in here, which are all Torx heads. So, all in all, making some good progress. Alright, so I removed the fuel rail and exposed all the bolts surrounding the valve cover. And one thing to keep in mind is all the bolts are specific sizes. You got long ones, you got tiny ones. They're all going to go back in the same spot. So I'm going to have to lay them down on paper on the floor in the same layout that they came out. So as you can see, fuel rail's gone. All the individual lines going to the fuel injectors have been removed. And now I'm going to start on these bolts right here, surrounding the valve cover. Alright, so things are going pretty good, might say. I got all the valve cover bolts loose. So now I'm going to start prying up on the valve and remove it. However, before I start that, I need to remove the ignition coil sleeves from each ignition coil well. Once those are removed, I can pry the valve cover away from the engine. So, making good time here. This is good. Have you ever gone through a toolbox and looking at the tools thought to yourself, what the hell is that thing for? Well, this is one of those times, because I need to get in here to get these guys out. So, they said you just kind of lift up on this. That's not going anywhere. What the fuck? Well, now I'm bending the fucking aluminum. German engineering is supposed to be the best, so they say. As soon as the mechanic hits it, the shit just falls apart. Alright, so about now I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I got the valve cover removed. As you can see here, this is the whole inside of the valve. You have your vanos that runs both the exhaust and the intake side valve train. Right now, once you get this off, this is about a good time to check your chain, make sure it's got no excess of play in it. That seems pretty tight. That's good. Make sure there's nothing loose, damaged, cracked. In this case, I'm pretty good. But if you see here, you can see that the oil was kind of slowly making its way past the gasket, especially on the inside, where you can see oil down inside here. And this is outside the valve cover. Like, that's a ton of oil. So, I've successfully cleaned the entire top of the valve cover where the gasket will seat. See there? The gasket runs along here, whoop, around the Vanos, around the other Vanos, all the way down here, and then it loops inside and comes around like this. Now, if you're wondering what a bad valve cover gasket looks like, typically they're supposed to be kind of flexible, right? Well, this is what happens when they go bad. The heat, the cooling, it just turns straight into hard plastic, and you can see it's brittle and falling apart all over the place. Yeah, that's no good. So that's really the reason that I have all this oil on the inside where my spark plugs go. So, alright. So I went ahead and laid the new gasket down in the valve cover. Man, let me tell you, the old one was hard as a rock. It was like straight hard plastic when I took it out of the valve cover. One of the things I did here too is I used some gasket maker to hold the gasket in place so that it doesn't fall out while I'm wrestling trying to get it back on the engine. So, here goes. No more oil leak. No more smelling burnt oil. Wondering what the hell is that. But, yeah, it's gonna go good. So, one of the things that, really scary when you're working on a car, especially on the top side, is, dropping bolts. I fucking dropped one of the valve cover bolts, and I didn't hear it hit the ground. Shit. Never mind. Crisis averted. Gotta have one of these. It's a magnet. And, there's the bolt that I dropped. But because I have this tool, woohoo! I was able to avert the crisis. Alright, back to work. Alright. So, got the valve cover in, all the parts assembled. Wanna have a look? So we can see, fuel lines are back in, ignition coils are in. I routed all the wire harnesses around the engine, secured them where they should be. Now the only thing left to do here now, since I already reattached the battery, is to start it up. Let's see how. Here we go. Alright. Brake. Power. That's not good. No worries. Just had to let the fuel fill the fuel line and repressurize the fuel system. We're good now. So, just gonna check some. No check engine light, that's good. Looks like the 4x4 system's going all haywire. More than likely because I disconnected the battery. So, no worries there. Just gonna go out for a ride and hopefully it should be okay. Alright, so, the car's back together. I'm on the road. I'm driving. There's no check engine light. That's a good sign, right? So, success.